Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today we're going to be making another of the South Park characters. We're going to be making Kyle. So the colours we're going to need are green and skin tone, orange, grey and black, and you're also going to need a couple of the pony beads. I'm not using mini pony beads, I'm using the normal size pony beads. And I'm using pink for his skin, and I think most of the other colours are just a Rainbow Loom colours. So let's get started. This is going to be an extended loom version done on a single loom. So we're starting with our loom. We will need our base tool removal kit because we're going to be taking our bases off and moving them forward. Let's adjust our loom. You're going to take column 3 and make it so that it is slightly higher than the first 2 columns, okay? Now we're double banding. The arrow is facing towards us when we're doing our band placement, and as I said, double banding is you take 2 bands and you place them on the peg together as if they were one. We're going to be starting by placing 2 bands here as if they're doing nothing, and for the minute they are doing nothing, and then we're going to move 2 bands up to here and 2 bands across to here. Grab some skin tone bands. Now at this point we actually want 2 skin tone bands to go across to the other side, but there is no peg for it to hang on to, similarly to this. So we're going to just place them here and wait until we have a peg to put them on. But on top of that we're going to put these 2 pink bands there and these 2 pink bands here, okay? So they will just sit there for the minute. Now on top of that we will put a pair of green bands, and we will get some orange and put orange here. Band placement is quite important when you're doing these figures, because otherwise the colour that you want on top as the predominant colour is not going to happen. Now from here I'm going to do black because he sort of has a zipper up the front, so I'm just going to do black bands to indicate that there's sort of like a zipper there. And from here we start with his trousers, which are going to be grey, and we need to have a pair of grey bands sitting here doing nothing and a pair of grey that will be coming down. Alright, but first let's put a pair of grey here and a pair of grey here. Now we can place the 2 grey that are coming down and place those on top of these, okay, so they have to be on the bottom. And then you have another pair of grey, actually I'm sorry, we have a pair of black, I'm telling you fibs, that go from here to here. And then take a pair of black, wrap it once and twice, slide onto a pair of black and reclaim the end, and that is going to sit here as his shoe. Okay, we're going to put an orange hand here, but first we need to have a mitten. So green band, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of green, and then we're going to slide onto 3 pair of orange. So here's our first pair, 1, 2, 3, and that's going to sit here. Alright, now before I do that, let's put our crossover bands on. We can't put the crossover band to go completely across because our other pegs are not there, but we can make them go slightly across like this and put them so that they're angled upwards. Alright, and they're single orange bands. Now let's put our arm right here. Now the other thing is we need to have an eye, and the eye has to go across to this column here, but it's not there. So we'll place our crossover bands first. This one is going to go from here and we're going to place it up here. The next one is going to go from here to up here. Now our eye is going to be our 2 pony beads. Place them on a hook or however you thread them. So thread them on. One side of the eye is going to go here, the other side needs to go up here, and I don't have it here, so I'm just going to drop my band. Completely and utterly drop my band. Oh, that's funny. Here we go. Let's try that again. Slide that on. One side goes here, the other side is going to sit up here on this peg. If I can get my hands out of the way. There we go. So it's going to sit between these two for the minute. Okay. We need green crossover bands for the hat. And we also need the ear part of the hat. And so how we're going to do that, take a couple of green bands, take a single one, wrap it once and twice. You're going to slide onto a pair, okay, of green bands. Don't reclaim the end. We're going to take a pair of green bands and slide on and reclaim. Then take the ones that we didn't reclaim and reclaim them and take another pair of green bands, put them on the end of your hook and reclaim like that. Now we're going to take a pair and slide all of those on like that and like that. Now if I was to just place that on there, it's going to look a bit funny, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little right angle like I do with the shoes. Take a pair, wrap it once and twice, slide onto a pair like that. Then with this you're going to take the first 2 loops and slide on, take these loops off the side of your hook and replace with the other side and move on and reclaim. So now we've got this little angle so that instead of it sticking straight up from his head, we can angle it so that it's down. And let's pop that there. See what I mean about we can angle it so that it's down and it sits close to his head? Alright, let's do one for the other side. A single green, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of green. Do not reclaim the end. Take 2 green and slide on and reclaim the end like that. Take the other side and reclaim it, and we're going to take 2 green and slide on like so. 2 green, and these all get moved on like that and reclaim. Now we do our little right angle, move this down, 2 bands, wrap once and twice and slide onto 2 bands, move them across, take this side up and over, swap sides with your hook, up and over, and reclaim. Now we're not ready for the other side yet, so that's just going to sit on a holding hook until we are ready for it. Okay, let's start with our looping. Pull the foot back, grab the 2 top black bands, they are going to be looped to the side here to the right. Then we go down for the grey bands and they get looped up. This side here you're going to go for the grey bands and they go firstly to the side, and then the second set go up. Alright, push the crossover bands back with your hook. You're just wanting to expose those bottom 2 orange bands. And I'm looping, as you can see, both the first column and the second. Loop up to the arm. Loop the green in first. Then dig down and find those 2 orange and loop those in. Dig down and you're going to find the 2 top pink and loop those across, and then the next 2 pink come down, and I think I've got more than 2 there, so let's re-evaluate that. Let's dig down and find just those 2 top pink. There we go, that's better. If it's tight, which that one is, wiggle your hook around the outside of the peg. Dig down, find the 2 pink and loop up. This one I know we're going to have to lift it up, that's fine. Alright, so from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this little part up. I'm going to loop the skin tone in, and then I'm going to replace the little green bit. That's so that the skin tone doesn't go on top of the green bit. I want the green bit to be the predominant colour. Loop in where the eye should be. Loop up, loop up. And at this point we're going to dig down and grab those and move it to the side here. Alright, you can also dig down and get the next 2 bottom bands and they come down here. Yes, we're going to have to lift it up, but it doesn't matter, it locks it into place. Take these off your loom, just that first column, very carefully. Alright, let's turn our loom over and move the base plates across one spot like that. And now we can take this column off and move it forward. It's going to sit below this peg so that it's at an offset configuration. Alright, the next thing we need to do, these green bands are going to come up to here, but we also need to have another set to go across as well. So let's take 2 green bands and place them on this peg first. They can sit there doing nothing. Let's lose my hook completely. So put those there. Let's find these 2 green bands that we had resting doing nothing, and they get moved up to here. Alright, let's lay our bands. Again, it's 2 bands with double banding. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. We need some skin tone. 1 and 2, and we're going to need skin tone that goes across to the next column. So we need 2 skin tone bands here. So let's hold those there and then take these skin tone ones that we had waiting and put those across. And that sort of keeps those in place a little bit. Then we need to have 2 green and also 2 orange. So let's do the 2 orange first because they're going to go on top of the green. Oops, there we go, like that. Okay, push things down if you need to. So from the green we're going to do orange, pair. Then we need a pair of grey. Okay, so the grey is going to go here, but we also need a pair of black to go to the next one across. Place your black here, but then grab your grey and move those over like that. Okay, let's drag the crossover bands over. And these ones here. Now at this stage we want the crossover band first, and then take these where we had the eye sort of squinting up there, take it and place that here like that. Okay, and then move the green ones over like so. Alright, now this column is actually looped up, but we're going to dig down first and find the grey 2 top bands, move them across, and we're just going to make it so that this is secure to take off the loom. It's more secure if you have the next row or column looped up. Lift these 2 pink up, okay, then loop in the green and put the pink back. Then as you dig down you're going to find the next 2 top pink, and they come across to here. Again, I know you're going to have to lift them up, it doesn't matter. Dig down, find the next 2 bottom pink, and there they are. Let's loop this up. Lift these 2 green up, loop up, replace your bands, dig down, find the 2 bottom green and loop to the side like that. Okay, this is now ready to take off, so let's do that. And again, please be careful with the middle column. You really want to make sure you're going to shepherd it to make sure that nothing gets away. Make sure you keep those on. Alright, let's turn our loom over, take the big base plate off, move it forward 1 spot, and then take the column of pegs off. It's going to be the same height as the one before it. You're not having to put anything on this peg first, it's just going to take that green band like so, and another pair, another pair, another pair, 1 pair of pink, and then if you have a look down here you've got 2 pink under here. That's what you want to find. Find your 2 pink loops. If I can get this orange one out of the way, wants to join the party, loop that up. Alright, okay, so next we have this orange, we're going to bring that down, and we have orange on top of it. A pair of grey, and then move your black bands over that, like that. We're going to take a pair of black, loop once and twice around your hook and slide onto a pair of black, like that. Reclaim the end, and that goes on the end of the foot here. We're going to make sure that we have enough crossover bands. I'm just going to take some of these bands out the way so I don't. Let's take these crossover bands, move them across, because they're crossover bands, like so, and the skin tone, and the green. At this point, you're going to add your little hat piece. Okay, you want to add your hat piece to this side here. We also need to do a hand, otherwise you will only have one hand. So take a single green, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of green, and then you want 3 pair of orange. There's our first, there's our second, and there is our third. Let's pop that on his shoulder right here. Alright, dig down here, you're going to find the 2 black bands, loop them over to the side, and then find the 2 grey bands and loop up. Dig down here, past all of those, like the foot and everything, you've got to dig down past it and grab those 2 grey bands and loop those up. We can loop both these columns because they're our last columns. Okay, I want to lift the pink up, loop in my green, loop in my orange, and I want it to be the same as what I did the other side. Now replace my pink. Now, all of this is looped up, so that's good. Dig down, find the 2 top pink, wiggle, 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 loop that in. If it's too tight, wrap your hook around the outside and it loosens things up. All that's looped in, so that's fantastic. I'm looping. Now, remember last time we took this off, we looped the pink in and then we replaced this. Let's do that again so that we're uniform. So place that back there, dig down, find the green, there should be 2. Okay, now we have to find out where we're looping to. This one is going to loop to here, so that's our tie off. Loop that into here and that into here. Grab 2 green bands, and this is our tie off one, so push your hook through, out the side, pull it back, and I twist my hook so that the smooth side of my hook goes against the bands and doesn't snag anything. Take the 2 closest to me, up, over and off, and pull tight. And let's take Dear Kyle off the loom and hope that it looks like Dear Kyle and not something out of the swampy deep. Push the eyes through. The eyes will always go walkabout. Okay, let's move my loom out the way. Let's stretch him into shape. pull his arms out a little bit. His hat. Angle those. There's one little band here that seems to be a little bit looser than the others. Just going to pull that through. Even it up a bit. There we go. So with these, I'm just going to tuck them behind some existing bands that I have here. Let's try and do it a bit better than that. There we go. That's a little better. And let's poke them behind a couple more. There we go, so that's looped there. And what I want to do is just pull this little pink crossover band. I want to grab the green from behind it and just pull this forward. So that his ear muffs sort of sit closer to his head. So these two here splay open and pop through like that, so that they sit closer to his head. And then we're just going to do a mouth and the pupils on his eyes. Again with a Sharpie for his eyes. I'm just going to draw spots like so, and for his mouth a black band. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to stab him through the face. The black band I'm going to sort of cut in, not cut in half, but fold in half. Pull one side through like that, go through the same side on the other side, so like it's you're approximating the right spot, and then oops, don't pull it too tight like I just did. Grab that, pull it through. You're going to tie these two ends into a knot, or you're going to let it fly through again to the other side. Come here. You all know I'm the world's worst knot tire. I don't know why. Okay, let's trim these up so that they don't encroach on the front of the face. And there we have Kyle on a single loom. And I really hope you enjoy making him. You can fiddle around with him and get him just perfect. Alright, take care. Bye bye.